You know, we can distract ourselves by doing the most, but actually we're not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I had to be open and honest. Well, I don't think I believe anymore. But what I did say is, if you are true and if you are real, I need some proof.
Yeah.
And
I'm intrigued to know what
journey.
It was a journey.
It's been a
so
journey.
So it wasn't like a lightning bolt across the sky.
And people think that, and maybe to an extent, maybe I thought that was going to happen.
It wasn't a set of house keys in your hand, brand new car.
No.
It was a journey.
It was a journey, and things got worse before they got better.
Wow.
And that was rough. It's a spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And for me, I had to go on that spiritual journey. I had to learn to be silent. I had to learn to be able to listen to
look like?
So being silent means when having time every day to yourself
with two girls
when they've gone to bed.
Okay. And you don't fall asleep
that time.
In that silence?
Sometimes you do fall asleep.
Okay.
You know, depends on the day that you've
had.
But you have time to allow the thoughts to run through your mind. You maybe speak things, talk about your struggles, what's going on, what your dreams are, what your desires are.
I would call that prayer.
Prayer, yeah.
But I wouldn't be kneeling down doing that.
No.
I struggle with that. I find like if I start kneeling down, I start thinking I got to do this laundry, this ironing, this washing.
Yeah.
But if I do it, if I'm just chilling, or if I'm moving about, not doing too much, I actually think I'm having a conversation with you.
Whatever works for you. There's no prescribed way. And this is also what I've understood is that I remember being in church and, you know, the older people, they are laying down one half an hour prior. And you're like, you know, everyone, prayer, you know. My mum still says that. But, you know, everyone's falling asleep and, you know what I mean? And for me, that doesn't work for me personally. Yeah. So I have my own way of doing things, but I also like to sit quietly in my place. There's nothing going on, no television, you know, kids are sleeping and I'm just sitting quietly.
No
phone, just allowing the thoughts to come through. I will talk out some of my struggles, affirmations as well. I really, really believe in speaking out your desires.
You say that out loud?
Say it out loud. And what you
just
find...
Just you in the yard?
Just me, one, you know, or I've got them actually written on my phone. So I try to recite them maybe 3 times a day.
Wow.
Or however long, especially I will recite it more when I'm stressed and I'm going through struggles and it feels like nothing's working, and I'll just say it out, read it out as a way of trying to kind of center myself and calm myself.
Can you say a few of them now?
So some of my oh gosh, I'm trying to think because I have different types.
Yeah.
What was your font?
And sometimes what I do, I'll add to it, you know, as and when you think, oh, actually that makes, I am enough. I love me. I value and appreciate me because I am special. I am love. I radiate love from within and all around. I listen to the Lord's still voice and follow his lead and live a life of happiness, love, grace and abundance.
And when you say that out loud, what happens?
When I started doing it, I didn't believe it.
Yeah. Because
I was at a really difficult point in my life.
Yeah.
But my really good friend, she just said, you have to continue to say it until your brain absorbs it and it becomes believable.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And they normally say, if you want to introduce a new habit, you have to do it every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Wow. And before I knew it, I was saying it and wasn't necessarily believing it. And then I moved from saying it, believing it, absorbing it, and it feeling natural and it felt real. And once it felt real, I then felt better. And I felt like a weight had lifted off of me.
Yeah.
And I also started to notice things around me starting to change. Wow. And it's not, you know, people think you ask God for money and you expect him to drop £1 million in your lap just so.
Nice.
Okay, £1,000 in my account.
Yeah.
But it often doesn't, it doesn't happen like that. Many people ask God for furniture. So when he gives them trees, people are complaining.
I heard that one. Yeah.
And I thought it was so profound.
Yeah.
It's already there already. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's just little things. Yeah. So it could be God may provide a job where you're going to get more money or, some other opportunity, whatever. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But you start to take notice of the smallest details, the smallest things. And you think, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
You start to become aware of it. You start to absorb it. And things actually start to change. But it's a spiritual journey.
It's a spiritual journey.
People think that, you can, manifest these things, just like that.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual journey. Yeah. It's about you being able to, again, own your truths.
Yeah.
It's about you being able to love. Love without limit. Loving people.
Yeah.
So it also, for me, how it manifested was squashing any beef that I had with anybody and being able to own things and say, sorry, actually, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Help me to understand. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. This is how you build relationship.
Yeah.
Once and this is again, it goes back to yourself. Once you start to treat yourself with that level of respect and being able to own your own truths and ask yourself those questions and own, some of the ugly sides of you, you can then go and, make amends with some of the parts of yourself where it may have transferred to how you've treated somebody else or whatnot. It transfers to that and then you're able to then build better relationships and you feel good.
Yeah.
And you don't, and I see it as you've unblocked your blessings, because sometimes we block our own blessings and we don't realize them. We're going around in a cycle. And what I understand is that when often we don't move from point A because the same lesson is being replayed over and over and over again
until you
packaged differently though.
So
you think you're moving forward, but you're actually still in the same place.
So you're going around for 40 years.
And it's same type of everything. Same type of everything. And you think that you've moved forward. But actually, when you really tell yourself the truth, actually, you ain't gone anywhere until you're able to sit with yourself, own it, and say, actually, I think there's a lesson. I need to be quiet and I need to go and make amends with whatever it is, or you need to open up your heart and your mind to something that you haven't been able to do before. And what I found is once you've been able to do that, life changes.
So you're saying life changes with such a passion, and you know that this channel we deal with relationships and we deal with marriage as well. What kind of encouragement would you give those who are in a difficult area of their relationships at the moment?
What I would suggest, you have to go back and have a relationship with yourself, because you bring yourself into the relationship. You bring your baggage. Everybody brings baggage into the relationship. No matter how prepared and how enlightened you think you are, actually we know nothing. I think Socrates said it. Actually, we could know a lot, but actually we know nothing. We know nothing.
Well, the Bible says you look for a glass dimly. We don't know.
We don't know a damn thing.
So when sometimes people say, how do you get prepared for marriage? You absolutely don't get any preparation. It's on the job.
It's on the job training.
It's on the
Didn't
job.
really understand that. You know what I mean? Until when you're getting into the hot water and you're like, whoa, this year too hot.
Yeah, man.
But actually, it can be worked through.
Yeah.
But everybody has to be willing to own their own truth. Everybody has to be willing to do their own work. They say two become one. Oh, we're one, No, actually, everybody needs to go and do their own individual work. So often in couples therapy, you do the work with the couple, but more often than not, you have to have sessions separate. You may send one off to another therapist. You may keep one, and then you then bring them back together because lots of individual work has to be done. You can't move forward in your relationship if you don't do that work on yourself and make peace with things that have happened and understand the scripts that you're reliving. You don't even realize it. You say that you're not like your mum.
Yeah.
But actually, you're doing the exact same thing.
Because that's what you saw.
It's inevitable. But as far as you're concerned, because it don't look the same, and because, I'm different, I'm enlightened, I'm, I know more. You think, you get it twisted and think that actually I'm different. No, actually, you're doing exactly the same thing. And when you're able to own that and you're able to come to terms with that and you're able to, like I said earlier, is to do the difficult journey with self. I personally think with a therapist, you have to, and the thing is, you do have to find the right therapist that you can work with. You need a therapist that is able to challenge you in a way that doesn't make you feel defensive. But you're able to own it. That you feel comfortable with being challenged, even when it's difficult. And not kind of scowling after them and screwing up your face after and twisting up, squeezing up your face. And I don't even want to work with this person. But actually, they're bringing out things in you that's necessary. And you feel safe and contained to be able to do that. And you will find that things will change. And what that does to the marriage is people then start to be more open and more authentic, more loving, because that's intimacy. Intimacy often with a lot of people, a lot of couples, is a difficult area. Sometimes intimacy is so intense. We have an automatic shutdown mode. We don't realise that we've done it, but we get to a point you think, oh, gee, this is too much. Can't do this. This is too much. Because it's come close to the bone, it's too much. But actually, and you don't even realise that you're doing it, do you know what I mean? As far as you're concerned, oh no, I'm just not that type of person, I'm just, But actually, if you go and do the explorative work, it's usually come from a childhood experience or something that you've learned from maybe something your parents said to you or something you saw or a belief in yourself, a negative kind of thought that you've had about yourself that you've carried. It makes a difference when you go and you do that work, and then you then open yourself up to go into those uncomfortable levels. But then what you might do to your partner is saying, okay, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable here. I'm still willing to do it, but I'm just letting you know that I'm feeling some discomfort
that
here.
That can shut down everything then.
Normally, no, but if everybody's on the same path and is on the same level, then your partner can say to you, all right, I'm here. Okay. I'm here with you. I'm not leaving you. Do you know what I mean? And that is often where there's a lot of communication breakdowns normally at that point. But once you open it up, then you start to open up that kind of like that intimacy between yourself and the partner where you feel safe to bring all of yourself.
What's come up throughout this conversation, like a common theme that's come up, is that you've got to deal with your own stuff.
To deal with your own stuff.
For a better relationship, a better marriage, or better, whatever you're having, whatever relationships you're having, even if it's with parent and child, do you know what I mean? If it's man and woman, if it's just relationships across the board, that you always have to be looking at yourself.
Always.
You have to be caring for yourself.
Caring for yourself
on the
highest level. When you care for yourself on the highest level, wow. You can't tolerate anything less than that. It's impossible. It is so uncomfortable to tolerate anything less than that. You just say, no, I can't.
I can't sit with this.
I can't sit with this. I can't do this. No, this is not who I am anymore.
Standard.
Do you know what I mean? It's a standard, you know? It becomes a standard. And you are more compassionate, you're more empathic, you're not so jumpy and so angry. Or there might be times when you might be a bit jumpy and a bit angry, stress levels and that, but you bring yourself down quick enough to say, actually, maybe that was a little bit out of context. I think I'm feeling a bit stressed because... whatever, do you know what I mean? But there's an awareness, but there's a willingness to own it, but there's also a willingness to do better and to say it out and say, look, I'm sorry, and actually I need to do some work on that. Obviously that's coming from somewhere, or maybe I'm tired, or maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe you need some time out for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes. Just have that time.
Have that minute.
Then I slowly get up, get myself together, and I feel much more relaxed. I can manage things better.
Yeah.
I think I respond to the children better.
Yeah. But I find that if we take time out, if Kurt and I go away or whatever, when I come back a better mum.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I come back a better person because I've had that time to reflect, breathe, have the spa and whatever.
Yeah.
Although I would love one right this minute. Do you know what I mean?
Oh gosh, yeah.
But it's like I can see the value in it. But what, for me, in summing up the whole matter, it feels like the 2 greatest commandments, which is loving God with your whole self and then loving your neighbour as yourself. So if you end up loving yourself well, inevitably you will love your partner well. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's difficult for maybe some people at face value to come to terms with or to even believe. And I may have been a skeptic. I probably would have been quite skeptical of it, to be totally honest. You know what I mean? I'm quite free, quite a free thinker.
Yeah.
But having gone through that experience myself, I've seen it happen in my own life. I've seen it, I've experienced it, I've watched it happen right before my very eyes. You know, and there were points where I thought, this can't actually be happening. It's actually truly happening. So it's a way of life that I hold dear to me. But also what I try to do is give it as a gift to others. Yeah. That once they take the mask off and they're able to do their work with, you know, compassion, with, you know, with empathy, with support, with safety, actually they too can experience such a wonderful... You look at the world differently. Yeah. It's almost like, you know, I wear glasses. Yeah. My prescription, I've like -6. My eyesight is really bad. Yeah. So when I'm not wearing my contact lenses and my glasses, I can't see a thing. Everything's blurry. As soon as I put my glasses on and my contact lenses on, I can see great detail in everything. Yeah. And for me, that's the only way I can describe how my life is now. I see things so differently. I see people differently. You know, before, you know, we would make judgments on people before we even talk to them, before we know them. We don't know their history. We don't know the traumas that they've been through. You know, everything is all trauma-informed practice now. Yeah. So you kind of make your judgments. You think you know. Actually, you don't know a damn thing. You have no idea until you start building relationships. So wow. Give people permission to kind of be themselves.
How has the difficulties in your own relationship propelled you to a new place? Like, what have you taken from the difficult times? Because I think more recently I've been realising that the difficult times that I used to run away from is the times when I should actually sit in it and learn from it, because I grow best in tough conditions. How have you grown best in the tough conditions?
I think I've learned that I am valuable. I look at where I was then. I was a shell of the person that I am today. And I look back and I think, how much have I learned about myself, you know, under very, very difficult circumstances. I cannot believe how much there was inside that had been untapped. And actually it makes me excited for the future because there's more. The lessons don't stop. You don't get to that place of enlightenment and say, yes, I've reached and there's nothing more to learn. The journey continues, the lessons continue forever until, you know what I mean, until your time is up. But I'm just excited. I'm not frightened. I'm not as frightened about the future anymore. I'm not frightened about what's going to be, because I don't know what's going to be.
So why fret about it?
Why am I going to spend time fretting and worrying about it? But what I can say is that I'm just going to continue to love me and love my people around me. Whoever wants to engage in it and participate in it, come on board. If not, it's cool. It's all right. Do you know what I mean? And more importantly, I want my daughters to be able to see me as the woman that I am today, as I would like to be, and I pray that I haven't done too much damage, that they will grow to appreciate and love themselves unconditionally. I always tell them, you have to love yourself. Especially my 5-year-old. She's at that impressionable age. She always tells me, Mummy, you look so pretty. And I said, thank you. And I said, but you know, you're beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. You know, she says it. She smiles, and I know that I'm beautiful. She smiles. And even my 1-year-old, you know, I put on her clothes and I said, ooh, pretty. And now anytime anybody puts on clothes, ooh, pretty, she'll repeat it. So this is just, you know, a very kind of like simple way of getting my children to a place where they just appreciate and love themselves. They don't need to have a man to show them how beautiful they are, because they can, valuable they are, because they already know their own value. Do you know what I mean? They already love themselves already. Without that, having you know, a partner or a husband or a man, whatever, is just an addition to what, you know, what they already have. And that's what I'd like to, that's my hope, you know what I mean? That, and even just, not just my daughters, but people who I come into contact with, that they can value themselves. And I think that's what this difficult situation that I've been in, I think that's what it's taught me.
So in I'm always summarising, in the dark times you've grown a lot of love.
A lot,
It seemed like you've cultivated love.
Forgiveness, love, compassion, grace, mercy, you know, that's authenticity. You know what I mean? It's, you know, vulnerability. Oh, you know, it's all painful stuff. But once you see, you know, once you've seen it bloom, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It has been like more than a pleasure.
Thank you.
You're a lady after my own heart, and I'm so grateful that you got to sit with us and talk. Do you know what I mean?
Anytime.
So give me something. Thank you, lady. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Serious, man. Thank you. That
That's
was serious.
right.
That was good learning, man.
Woo!
It did. It is.
It's real out here, as I say. What's my signature word that me and my best friend say? It's real out here. It's real out in these streets.
It's real.
It's real. It's real. And it's like, I'm 40 now. It's taken me
43. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes you think,
unraveling.
but hold on a second.
Yeah.
40 years? No, Dread.
See, I think that's when I say you start living.
You start living. Actually, when people used to say,
take off your mask.
I think, you know, it begins at 40, it begins at 50. Boy, I get it now.
I get it. I get it.
I get it.
I have had to be confronted with so much